My name is Erna Broadbow, and I was born and brought up in this village of Woodside. I knew Woodside to be a banana producing area. That's what we made our money from. But when I came back here after many years of being out of the village, I came back here to live. The bananas were no longer here and people were not making a living. So some of us considered how we're going to make a living. Fortuitously, because I teach sometimes in American universities, they were willing to send their students over with me to learn what they call for a rural experience. We had several colleges, I can't name them, colleges from Vermont, colleges from Ohio, colleges from Massachusetts, but the one that stayed with us longest is a college from Gettysburg in Pennsylvania. They came here for 10 years every December to January. And they were doing their work experience and they're learning with us. And we developed a notion we call shared learning tourism. Shared learning, but we call our tourism educotourism because we're focusing on the education of people, not just people coming in, but ourselves. Because the people who came in would also teach us about their culture as we taught them about our culture. And we got to a position where we could recognize that we had something to give, something that was worthwhile that we could give outside. And one of the things that we learned was worthwhile was our historical sites, which really charmed people, and it allowed us to teach them a lot about our village by teaching them about our historical sites.
Yes, I'm Noel Smith. I'm the caretaker of this estate, Woodside, where we have heritage sites, taino sites, and we have a lot of historical sites in this community. So I'm here this morning to show my friends the natural steps. It's a taino steps. They were here from days of slavery where they carved the steps naturally. I don't know if they used stone to do it. I don't think chisel was existing those times, but they find some way to make steps to go down the gully to catch water. And down here so was once a stream, so they used to use this area, this part. So, you know, it's natural like when, you know, you have a house or you build a staircase. So it's all built naturally out of the rock. Yes, so we are here today to feature the ancestral area where we want to do an ancestral garden. So this is actually one of the legacy that they leave to show that taino was really existed in this part of St. Mary.
We decided that these historical sites should be shared by the rest of Jamaica, which was not only being benevolent on our part, but also marketing. So we asked the Heritage Trust, the Jamaica Heritage Trust, to come in and look at these sites, and they were pleased with them and wanted to make them into national heritage sites. So they came in, and in 2016 we had 3 sites that were declared national heritage sites. Now, how do we use these natural heritage sites? It came to us that we could now expand our educotourism product. So people would come in now day. First, when the colleges came, they would be here for 3 weeks, sometimes even 6 months, working on doing research. With research, we declared that they should give back to us. So we would have these cultural events where they told us about what they had learned about our village, and we told them what we thought was the right things. So we had that sort of an educational thing going on, as well as at the same time being proud of ourselves and also making some money, because people stayed. We could have 30 people staying in our village in about 15 homes, and these homes were all vetted by what we had then called an accommodations committee.
You can see here these steps that walk go down to the area here where the taino steps are. We want to build some rail that it can more safer for the people and when they come on tour. That's nobody won't slip and hurt themselves. And then here so would also be one of the entrance going to Daddy Rock where the ancestral garden will be.
So we had a project which we call the Ancestral Gardens Project that was around since 2006. And we hadn't got anywhere with it because there were things that were required which we could not give. We didn't know how to do this, we didn't know how to do that. After we got the the nod from the Jamaican government that we do have something of significance here. We went back to the drawing board and we said to ourselves, how can we use this? First of all, we have to make them habitable in the sense of approachable, and we have to do something to make the history very clear.
Sacred space we call Daddy Rock, where we want to construct the ancestral garden. So all of this area here, this is the rock, Daddy Rock here. All of this area here, all of this space here, we want to turn this into the ancestral garden. Yes, and where people can come and meditate and share the different thoughts, share their plans, discuss their plans, think about the future, as our foreparents used to do the same thing here. So this is really a sacred space, and if you are here alone, you would really find a peace and a comfort that you just find yourself free. It's like, you know, you're free. You just, your mind and your thoughts and everything just come, things just come pure.
This Daddy Rock as a sacred space is not fiction, it's not something we made up. Because talking to old people who remember what their old people told them, it was not just a place for the enslaved to come and hide away and discuss their business. It was also a place of worship, where I'm told that people would take off their shoes when they're on this space here, because they recognized Daddy Rock as a sacred space. And we are continuing the tradition. We want to continue in the tradition.
We had some students the other day from Shartwood College and 2 University in Manchester. When they came here, it was all about the cultural activity and stuff. We took them to Attabe. We experienced a lot of different things. Everybody was like barefooted. We roasted some breadfruit, ripe plantain, saltfish, and every other little things that are planted on this plantation. After all of that, everybody was just enjoying the moment. When we reached at Attabe, there was like 14, 15 students behind us going towards the cave when it was only two persons we could carry. Everybody was so excited to be in this sacred space. So we really enjoy this space as our cultural activity, and we wanted it to be the best.
We know not only from village knowledge, but we know from people who have done research in here as early as the 19th century that we do have a Taino presence here. And we know also from the historical records that we do have the coffee estate of a 19th century coffee owner who was also a slave master. We also do know that we have a very significant big rock called Daddy Rock, which was the succor of the African slaves here. They would meet there to discuss their business. So we had these 3 sites, each of them representing a different religious culture. So we said to ourselves, let us therefore have not just an educo-tourism product, but focus now on the religious. The Taino come here, and it is painful and tear-jerking to see how pleased they are that there are still these Taino signs. So we have to respect them by keeping their steps, their relics good. The Africans, we have African Americans who come to deal with us and to pray with us when we have our emancipation celebrations.
The Tainos, they would come here and feature this region based upon the religious practice, you know. So if you come and you feel the environment for the Taino space, you would have this area for the Taino space, and then the goddess is further down.
So in our project, we are hoping to arrange our gardens so beautifully that people of all religious persuasions will come and sit quietly and meditate in our gardens. And we're hoping that those people who were enslaved and did not get a chance to be buried with a gravestone will get a chance now. We have relatives of these people still in this village, and so we are going to have a wall on which the names of the enslaved people will appear. And this is how we are giving them their respect. This project is a respect to the ancestors of this place. And it's a forward thinking in that we're hoping to inspire people to think of something as sacred. Inside where I'm standing here is where they used to have their dwelling. And it has now become the church because they gave it to us in 1881. They gave the building to the church. Hardly anybody comes to the church there. I am standing as one of the people who comes, and the lady up the top, there's the other. But when we have events, such as when we launched this project, the place was full to standing of all the people who heard about it on the radio and who were past residents of Woodside and who had people lying down inside there in the earth. They came. That is a measure of the interest which the people have in the project that we're doing and the possibility that it has for them to feel good, if nothing else. I hope it will go past feel good and that they will come and live in the area with some of us in long-term stays, tourist stays, and learn from us and we can learn from them.